December 1867. Scarcely a month had passed since Aburano Koji. Saito and Heisuke had returned, but the Shinsengumi was hardly back to normal. A dark, tense atmosphere pervaded the compound. Many men had lost their lives in Kazuma's attacks. Even more had been injured during the attack at Aburano Koji. Among them was Heisuke. Several of the rank-and-file soldiers had seen him mortally wounded. He had looked as if he would not survive. For that reason, Heisuke was declared officially dead and made a member of the Fury Corps. Saito hadn't been wounded, but many among the common soldiers began to call him a coward. To them, he had left the Shinsengumi to join Ito, then betrayed his new master when he sensed a change in fortunes. I saw no reason why he shouldn't set them straight, and say that he had never truly left the Shinsengumi, but he claimed he would rather stay silent than tarnish the honor of the commander and the chief who had ordered his actions. As such, it was decided that Saito would leave the compound until tempers had been allowed to cool. He was sent to stay at Tenma in order to protect Kiyotaro Miura, an official of the Kishu domain. The night of the battle at Aburano Koji was a turning point for the Shinsengumi. For the men who didn't know the details, it was simply a battle against their former comrades, the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb. Those better informed knew the situation with the Satsuma and Choshu domains had changed, and Ryomo Sakamoto's hit was part of a big plan. Only the heads of the Shinsengumi knew the whole story, the activities of the demons, and Heisuke's transformation into a fury. They were also the only ones who knew that Ogita's illness had gotten worse. Such an important battle had stirred up the atmosphere in the compound, and for several days there were excited men everywhere, shouting and talking. Moments of silence were quite rare. I'm trying to remember, because last time we stayed, when... I'm trying to remember, was it during Kazuma's attack that Soji turned into a fury? Is that when my brother came, or is that later still? I'm still having a hard time keeping the timeline straight. I'm sure I'll get better as time goes on, but... Because I kind of felt like him and Heisuke became furies at around the same time, but maybe I'm misremembering. I guess I'll find out soon enough. I felt I would only be in the way if I was wandering around the grounds, so I did my best to stay in my room by myself.
Ah, thank goodness you're here.
Sannan walked into my room without saying anything, except for that.
If you'd gone out, I wouldn't have been able to look for you.
Sannan? But it's daytime. Are you sure you're all right?
Yes. I've just had a revelation. I just had to tell you immediately.
His eyes glittered with something, and even though he was smiling, I could feel the fingers of dread begin to poke at the base of my spine. Why me? Wouldn't you want to tell Kondo or Hijikata instead?
Well, it has to be you. You will listen to my idea, yes?
Although he asked in the form of a question, his choice of words made it seem far from letting me make a choice. Sannan started to talk without waiting for my answer.
Yukimura, that Princess Sen had claimed that you are of the demon clan, right? And as a demon, you are stronger, faster, and more resilient than a human. Demonic superiority was displayed quite clearly by those demons who just attacked us.
Well, I understand that, but what was Sannan trying to get at? My heart started to pound, anticipating bad news.
A demon possesses immense power. It follows that the blood which flows through demon veins should be similarly powerful. Perhaps it is even potent enough to completely counteract the madness of the Furies.
I didn't know how the water of life worked, but Sannan's explanation seemed logical, even if it was a bit manic. How can you know that for sure?
Since before I became a Fury, I've been researching how the water of life works. I know more about it than anyone else here. I still have yet to discover the exact composition of the water of life, but I am hypothesizing that a core ingredient is fresh blood. And I'm assuming not from a human. Perhaps there may be demons or demon-like entities roaming throughout foreign countries.
So... Sannan drew closer to me without making a sound.
In any event, I believe it's worth testing. Your very existence could save the Fury Core. No, the entire Shinsengumi.
Wait! Sannan's eyes had grown painfully sharp, and I almost thought I could hear the barest edge of madness in his voice.
Now...
Calmly, he drew his sword from its scabbard. There was no madness or bloodlust to his movements, and that only made them all the more terrifying.
Oh, there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm not going to kill you or anything. I just want a small sample of your blood. That's all.
I took a step back. 2. Sannan and his sword came closer. He lifted it, and the steel blade shimmered in the light. Then, all of a sudden, just then... Hey, Sannan, what the hell are you doing? Hijikata had burst into the room. He always knows. Then... What is this, Sannan? Of all people, I'd expect you to know better than to draw your sword on someone in the compounds. Have you lost your mind?
Hijikata? Oh, Hijikata. Excellent timing. Please, give me a hand here. You also need to convince her to cooperate with us.
With calm purpose, he stepped between Sannan and me. Put your sword away. Personal conflicts are forbidden. The rules of conduct apply to everyone, even the captains. Sannan glared at Hijikata begrudgingly for several moments, but he soon turned away and sheathed his sword. So what happened? Did Yukimura do something?
I'm searching for a way to treat the madness of the Furies, for the good of the Shinsengumi.
And that means you have to cut her.
I'm not going to kill her. I only need a little of her blood. We've lost so many of the Furies from the battle the other day. Many of our human soldiers have fallen as well. If we are to effectively utilize the Furies we have left, as well as the ones we are about to create, then we must find a way to temper their madness. I know you for an intelligent man, Hijikata. Surely you understand.
The code says we don't fight each other for any reason. You haven't forgotten, have you? So no matter what reasons you give me, I cannot condone bloodshed amongst our members.
However, Yukimura is not technically a member of the Shinsengumi.
Maybe not, but she's been here long enough. She might as well be. They continued to stare for a while, neither willing to budge on the matter at hand.
As usual. You're too soft. I guess I have no choice. I'll leave for now. But keep in mind, if we do not discover a method of suppressing the side effects of the Water of Life, even Toto will begin to suffer from the bloodlust.
Only after I'd heard his footsteps fade away down the hall did I begin to breathe again. That altercation brought new meaning, knowing how much Hijikata admires and has respect for Sannan. Like, he views him as a brother, but he still put himself between me and him. Aw, Toshi.
You okay?
Oh, yes. Thank you for helping me.
Nothing to thank me for. I just ensured Sannan followed the code. In the past, he wouldn't have stood up to me like that.
I looked down. It's true, Sannan had been acting strangely lately. He would have never drawn his sword as aggressively as he just did before he drank the serum. I'm sorry.
Huh? What's gotten over you? There's nothing for you to apologize for.
Well, the reason why Sannan was acting the way he did in the first place was because Kazuma destroyed the Fury Core. After I said this, Hijikata paused and reflected to himself before responding. I think you've gotten things mixed up.
Huh?
They are allied with the Satsuma and the Choshu. In other words, they are our enemy. If an enemy attempts to attack us, it's a given that we're going to put our lives on the line to stop them. He spoke with so much conviction, but it's none of your responsibilities to protect me. So what are you saying, then? We should just offer you on a silver platter to them and beg for them to spare our lives, just because they have powers we don't. This is not the samurai way. For us, once we've decided on something, we will never compromise that decision. We're not bitches. I forgot about the slogan of the Shinsengumi. We are not bitches. Hijikata was so confident with what he was saying, and I felt there was no real contention to his claim. Even if he wouldn't say as much, I'm sure he knows that kicking me out of the Shinsengumi would make their lives so much easier. But if they did that, it would be a violation of the values they pride themselves in upholding. I'm sorry if what I said was out of line. Hey, he's blushing! Aw, blushy Toshi's back. I already told you. You don't have to apologize. Don't make me repeat myself. Hijikata said this timidly, muttering under his breath before looking down in my direction. Next time something like this happens, be sure to tell me. Don't keep it to yourself. You can always tell Yamazaki or Shimada, too.
Alright. Understood.
Hijikata nodded and turned to leave, but I realized I had one thing left to say. What? Is there something else?
There were so many warriors who were injured as a result of the attack on the compounds. Saito hadn't been present for long recently, and Kondo was occupied with his meetings with the Bakushin. Similarly, I had a feeling Hijikata was feeling the pressure of all of his duties lately. I wish that I could be helping him in some capacity, but I might get in their way.
What is it? I won't know if you stay quiet.
He appreciates my helpful spirit, so I will help. Is there anything I could help you guys with? It could be anything. Please, just let me help.
Help.
He followed his response with a sour expression that intimidated me. Well... Had he become upset by my question? Perhaps I shouldn't have said anything at all. No, if I back down now, nothing will change. Please. It could be anything small. The silence stretched out so long I thought I was going to scream.
I suppose you would be more discreet than one of our boys.
Huh? Suddenly the music changed.
Brush and paper.
Huh?
Bring me a brush and some paper. You do have that in here, don't you? Hurry.
Yes, right away. I scrambled across the room, grabbed a brush and paper, and handed them to Hijikata. He took them silently, still scowling, and quickly began to draw. A map? What is that? He ignored me and continued drawing.
You know Saito is at Tenma guarding Miura, right?
Yes.
I want you to take something to him. Will you do that?
Do you think I can?
Yes. One of our boys would stand out too much. You are the best option I've got right now. Can I trust you with this?
Yes, of course. Sir. I was thrilled to help, of course, but I was even more ecstatic to be given a task especially suited to me. However, that does put a lot of pressure on me. You got this, girl.
There. I drew you a map. Keep to this and you shouldn't get lost.
Right. Thank you. The map was pretty straightforward, but I still barely knew my way around Kyoto. Without it, I likely would have gotten lost. Alright, I'm going. I turned to leave, and only a concerted effort kept me from skipping toward the door. Yeah, I'm like, you have the map, but do you have a message?
Hold on, genius. Hard to deliver a message if you don't have one. Oh. Sorry, I got carried away. God. I know it's been a while since you went out, but you're getting too excited. You're making me nervous, kid. You sure you can do this? Yes, of course. I'll do a great job. Here's a letter for Saito. Make sure you don't drop it or lose it somehow. Yes, I'll be very careful. Is there anything you want me to tell him? Everything I have to say is in that letter. Understood. Then I'm off. This time I wasn't able to fully subdue the urge to skip. But even as I hurry, I have to be careful. Still, I wonder if it was really okay for him to trust me with all of this. Girl, get your butt out the door. No, Hijikata trusted me to do this. I need to fulfill the task given to me. Keeping this in mind, I decided I was prepared for the mission, and I left to deliver Saito's letter. Goodness gracious, girl. How many times does he have to spell it out for you? First, I slipped the letter into my kimono, and I double-checked to make sure it wouldn't fall out. Yeah, that's gonna be a bit tricky. Wonder how we're gonna manage that. Next, I carefully unfolded the map Hijikata had drawn out for me. Hijikata placed enough faith in me to get the job done, so I had to be sure I did things correctly. Okay, so I go this way on this street. According to this map, it looks like I have a long way to go. I better hurry or it's going to be evening by the time I get there. Maybe I should run there. I wanted to ensure I take all safety precautions, of course, but I was overwhelmed with a sense of duty to the point that I couldn't help but feel running would ensure I'd complete the task on time. You got this, girl. I think this is the place. I checked the house number etched into the lantern that was posted in front of the building. I was sure I had arrived at the correct location. I'd been told earlier that Saito had taken a room under the name Yamaguchi, the alias used by Hajime Saito while guarding Miura during the Tenma Inn incident. Yamaguchi. Alright. Excuse me. I have business with a person who's staying here. After speaking with the clerk, Saito came out shortly after. Yamaguchi. Sorry to bother you.
Oh, they sent you, Yukimura?
One of his eyebrows shifted up fractionally in response to my presence. Clearly, he seemed surprised. I'm sorry you got someone as inexperienced as me.
No, you misunderstand. I was only surprised. I expected to receive new orders soon, but I didn't think you'd be the one to deliver them.
Right. Well, I asked if there was anything I could do to help, and he was kind enough to let me help like this today.
Well, I can see his thinking. It's a good plan.
Huh? It is?
One of our regulars would have drawn undue attention to this location. New members might not be noticed, but how can we know where their true loyalties lie? You, on the other hand, can move unnoticed, and your loyalty is beyond question.
Oh, Saito! Such praise! Making me all teary-eyed.
The commander made an excellent choice. There is no one else better for this role.
Oh. Saito's explanation made me realize how much Hijikata had thought this plan through, and how much they both think of you. After I made the request to help him, he had considered all of this and gave me the order. Hijikata truly has a brilliant mind. It's not all looks.
The letter?
Oh, of course. I pulled out the letter and handed it over. He tore it open and read it over quickly, then lit it on a nearby lantern and watched patiently until it was nothing more than ash. Saito?
Yamaguchi.
Right, Yamaguchi. Are you sure it was okay to burn it?
I've read it. I know what it says. Why should I leave it intact to be intercepted?
Oh, of course.
Thank you for delivering this letter. Good work.
Oh, well, just doing my job. No need for thanks. I certainly hadn't done anything very impressive because anyone could have done it, but it did feel nice to be thanked. I was useful to everyone, yeah! Now that the job was done, though, I wasn't quite sure what I should do next. Well, as much as I love this bean, it's his turn next time, so we will stay in chitty-chat with him the next time we go through this. I should return to the compounds immediately. Although I was given permission to leave for this mission, I still am not permitted to go outside. Alright, I'm heading back.
Of course. Be careful.
Thank you, Yamaguchi. I went back the same way I'd come, but by the time I returned to the Shinsengumi compound, the sun had set completely. I hoped I wasn't too late. Hopefully Hijikata wouldn't be too mad. This thought weighed heavily in my mind as I went to Hijikata's room to report to him. Hijikata, it's Yukimura. I'm back.
Oh. Come in.
This music. Right. As I stepped in, the first thing I saw were piles of documents stacked upon his desk.
Thanks for taking care of that. How is Saito?
Yes, he's his usual self.
Ah, I see. That's good.
I wonder what had gotten over Hijikata. His mood seemed far more foul than when I had left him. I hope it wasn't anything serious. Sorry.
What are you apologizing for now? What, did you lose the letter? Or did you not even make it there?
No, of course not!
Then why did you apologize just now?
Oh, well, you looked really upset. I thought you were mad that I'd taken so long. Upon hearing what I had to say, Hijikata seemed to sigh, as if relieved it wasn't something more dire.
No, I'm not mad at you. It may surprise you to learn that I have many other things to think about besides you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps my words lean too heavily towards self-deprecation.
I'm repeating myself, but like I said, you don't have to apologize for every little thing.
I'm sorry! Oops, I mean... Okay.
Jeez.
Hijikata's stony expression finally seemed to soften, even letting out a little chuckle. I was embarrassed because I kept messing up, but it really does warm the heart to see Hijikata smile like he did. So then, if you don't mind me asking, what had you so upset then?
As you know, there have been some internal issues with Shinsengumi personnel. However, things are starting to become a little strained with higher-ups, beyond me as well.
Higher-ups?
You're practically one of us, so I might as well tell you. The Satsuma and the Kuge are reported to be making active movements recently. There are rumblings that something might happen to the shogunate.
What's going to happen? Would there be another huge battle like the Hamaguri Rebellion again? He offered me no reply, instead opting to shake his head and purse his lips.
Well, unfortunately we won't know what's going to happen until it happens. Of course, it's not like worrying about it will do any of us any good.
Oh. He sighed deeply each time he spoke, and he rubbed his fingers in circles around his temples. This boy needs a massage. The stress was understandable, though, knowing his decisions would affect all of the Shinsengumi men. I can't even imagine what the pressure of that might feel like. Is there anything else I can do to help?
What? Running off to Tenma wasn't enough for you?
Please, let me do something. If the Shinsengumi is in a rough spot, then... Please, I just want to help. I want to be useful.
You know what?
Hijikata muttered as he stared down at his paperwork.
You need to know what you're capable of. No matter how much you want to help, you're different than Saito, Yamazaki, or Shimada.
And you wouldn't be able to do any of the dirty work that I give Shinpachi or Harada either. Assigning duties to my men isn't as easy as you think it is. His words struck me like a knife in my gut. But still, he had a point. I was just eager to earn my keep here. I knew, however, that it wasn't my place to think I could do the same jobs as the other captains. So I was resigned to the fact that there was nothing I could do to relieve some of Hijikata's burden. But I understand that I can't be much help in the fighting department. But I truly understand just how hard everyone else is working. It could be even the smallest task. So please. I bent down as far as I could. Please, I'm begging you. Let me help you guys. Hijikata looked down at me dubiously for a little while, then eventually... Damn. I heard him move and felt something touch my chin. Uh-oh. This is not exactly what I thought of when I offered help, Hijikata. Yes, my mind's in the gutter. What, who? I opened my eyes to see his fingers under my chin. Phew, warm and dry, thank you. Phew. He lifted my face up until I was looking straight into his eyes. So handsome. Goodness. He was so close to me I could feel his breath. His gaze seemed to pass right through me, and its intensity turned my stomach upside down. You say you want to help. Yes. Can you answer me why? Why? I mean... But I couldn't answer right away. I couldn't come up with something quickly enough. Do you want to make a name for yourself? Or do you want us to recognize your effort and reward you accordingly? No. I answered this confidently. Then why go through all of this? Tell me. For all of those times that you guys protected me. There were even times when you put your life on the line, and people got hurt. Everyone has protected me over and over again. So I just want to give back to all of you. I don't want to regret anything anymore. The image of Heisuke being gravely injured during the Aberona Koji incident rushed back to me. He drank the water of life, knowing he'd become a fury, and if Kazuma and his demon cohorts were to come after me again in the future, I couldn't make the guarantee that the other men wouldn't be forced to make the same decision. I wasn't capable of fighting the demons with my sword in the way that the other men were. Still, I wanted to do my part to give back. Hijikata stared deeply and silently into my eyes. And then... Then don't bow so easily. You believe you're right. Why should you bow if you think you're right? His words awakened me. If you believe something, then don't ever bow or yield. Hold your head high and walk tall. You won't win if you don't keep your eyes on the prize. His eyes were brooding with a fierceness, almost glimmering with an intense light. A light so strong that it could assuage any fears or doubts one clung to in their heart. I looked back at him with all the composure I could muster. Yes. I want to help. If there's anything I can do, please let me do it. Fine. Hijikata let my chin go and he walked away silently. If you want to help so much, go make me some tea. You want tea? Okay, sure. Alright, she's gonna make me tea. Yes. Ah, you goofball. The fate of the Shinsengumi rests on this tea. Don't screw it up. Yes, sir. Leave it to me. I rushed to get up and I ran out of the room and headed towards the kitchen. Just before I was out of earshot, I heard Hijikata mumble to himself. What's going to happen to us now?